Welcome, folks. It's time for We Talk Whiskey live on Wednesdays. I will be acting as your host, Jonathan J.O. Owen from the Party Source Reviews. And we will be discussing things that you want to discuss. There's so many cool things to be talked about in the world of whiskey these days. And so we will be doing just that. Let's get going by starting out very simple, like we always do, by starting out with a cocktail. I'll be starting out with making a classic Manhattan today. I'll be starting with one of my favorite ryes. My favorite rye, well, one of my all-time favorites, is Sazerac. For that, I'm going to be using a 2-to-1 ratio. 2 ounces of my rye. Two ounces of rye. There we go. Now we're going to use possibly the best in the world. This is one of the best vermouths ever. This is fantastic stuff. Antica is wonderful. So we're using a 2-to-1 ratio. I'm going to turn this guy over, and we are now going to add 1 ounce of that. So there we go. We got that. Now we're going to top it off with just a few drops of bitters, which I have these guys right over here. These are Bellevue bitters. These are very, very good. Make it a little bit heavier on the bitters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 dashes. Give it a quick whirl. And we are now going to pour it into my coup glass. Hold it up so you can actually see it going in there. Don't get an ice cube in there. Then grab my strainer. Oh, no. There it is. One of my favorites, a good old Manhattan. Oh, that is so good. Delightfully sweet with hints of rye in there. Going off with the bitters, that is a wonderful flavor. Now let me drop a line here just one more time. There we go. All right. Hopefully that got it. And check in on something to see what's happening here. I hope everybody in the chat is doing good. All right. So how's it going to Silva 2? How's you doing good today? I just whipped up a nice Manhattan while everybody's coming into the chat. Got a very, very special announcement for next week. Next week is going to be how's it going, the Beer to Beerman? I hope all is good. Doing a side-by-side tomorrow, an 18-year-old box versus a new box. Nice, long row. Very, very nice. All right, so let's see here. Next week, have a very special announcement for our We Talk Whiskey Wednesday, unless something happens and I am not able to do it. I am going to be doing a live stream with MGP. I have one of their, not just their brand ambassador, she got promoted to where she is now like the sales executive. She is going to be coming on and will be doing it with us, hanging out for a while to talk with us about all things MGP. So I hope you guys are as excited about that as I am. You will be able to ask all kinds of fun questions about what's up with like the new 8 and Sands and so forth. Hey, sorry guys. Working here a little bit. Let's see here.
Theo.
There you are.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
It's going good, guys. If you do not know, this is Tony Rangel from Not So Secret Speakeasy. He was one of the founding fathers of this We Talk Whiskey Wednesday and has kind of taken a short hiatus off YouTube, and hopefully this is his great return. Now,
That's right.
All right, so De Silva, I'm not saying that right. De Silva 2, question, key questions. What are their mash bills? Do they premium price barrels based on the location in the house? That is something you are going to have to ask her. She will be coming in. Her name is Robin Karn. Just call you Dustin? I'll do that. Okay, Dustin. You will be able to talk to her, and she will be able to give you some of the lowdown. She said there's some of the stuff that will not be able to be said, but she will be able to answer a lot of questions because we all know MGP is hot market right now, and it is so cool. All right. Now, let me see here. Now, today, one of the things people asked we talk about for this week was, one of the questions was glassware. Okay, switching it to Springbank 18 in Freshport. Okay, Dustin, I'm not sure I understand the question. You want me to ask about the Springbank 18 Freshport? All right. So what you drinking, Tony?
That is a good question. I am going to go with one of my absolute favorites.
Nice.
Roses. And you were talking about glassware?
Somebody asked us to talk about glassware last week. Just kind of, oh, it's just what you're drinking, Dustin. He's drinking Springbank 18 Fresh Port. That stuff is so lovely. Glasswares, let's see here. Oh, we got Jeff Knapp in the house. He's saying hi to everybody, including Not So Secret Speakeasy.
Hey,
Bearded Beerman. And let's see here. Happy Wednesday to you, too. You guys have not hit that like button. You know what to do. But glassware. I'm a sucker for Glencairns.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, you can't really beat it. If worst case scenario, a wine glass works.
Mm-hmm.
My rocks glasses are for my cocktails, but when I'm doing Manhattans, don't give me a martini glass. Give me a coup glass. Politely put, martini glasses are stupid. I mean, you have to hold them like this, and in order to get them, you have to try it, and you spill it more than anything else. Dustin says his first pour of that 18-year is black. That sounds wonderful, dude.
Nice. So I heard that Four Roses is coming out with a new expression.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was hearing.
Yeah. Know what I heard? They're running out of juice this year as well as Wild Turkey.
Oh, no. See,
yes.
It's not so.
Yes.
Wow.
What's up, Alex the Beer Master? Thanks for tuning in.
Hey, Alex. How you doing?
So, yeah, I actually heard that from one of the reps of Jim Beam. We were down there yesterday picking out a barrel. Did a Knob Creek, which is 15 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. 15-year-old Knob Creek coming. And we got a 6-year-old rye.
Oh.
And they took us out to dinner, and he just said that that's going to be happening, in which I'm already seeing it with Four Roses. They're running out of their single barrel, and they're running out of their small batch. They do have their basic yellow label on the shelf, though.
Definitely. Yeah, I love the small batch. It's weird. Four Roses is just kind of one of those classic bourbons that to me, it just never fails.
Four Roses is a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had really anything bad from the Four Roses distillery. Well, I take it back. There was one particular barrel that we tasted that was purely rotten.
Oh, no, that's not good. But that's
different. It literally tasted like dish soap. It was crazy.
Wow.
Let's see. As far as Wild Turkey, there is another one going around for Wild Turkey that is stating that when you're reading the bottles, you have your codes on the bottle. I don't see one. This is not Wild Turkey, but this is Sazerac. There'll be like the printing numbers on the bottle. And it will be like right here. It has like a date. And if you can see it and it says GG in that number, that is a 12-year-old juice in there.
Wow.
The reason being because the popularity of the Long Branch, they started swiping all their 6-year-old barrels. And so they needed something to fill the space. And so they just started grabbing their 10-year-old for their basic Wild Turkey 101.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely doing really well with that Long Branch. Let's just say a certain person sent a message along our lines thanking us. And it was pretty cool. It was really neat. I opened up my email one day and it was like, wow.
Was it a Hollywood actor or was it an actual distiller?
Yeah, it was a Hollywood actor.
Nice. That's really nice.
It's kind of weird when you get like somebody and they're giving your team recognition and you're like, yeah, that's right.
That's really cool. Congratulations, man.
It's really awesome.
All right, so let's see here. Dustin here just says he ordered some Capita glasses, but Amazon sent him the wrong glasses. He's hoping that they have a big stem like a Bart on the dummy uses. I can completely understand that. Oh, like that?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. You know what's funny? I crack up. I don't know if y'all have Tuesday morning. I actually picked up a pair of Capita for $2.99. Crystal.
Nice.
I couldn't believe it. And I think I grabbed the last ones, but I've kind of made it a deal every now and then. I pop in because they're a really hidden gem for finding glassware. Big time.
Yeah. Okay. Jeff Knapp is asking, when does the 10 or 12-year-old WT hit the shelves? Well, the best I can say on that is here lately, whenever anything is coming from the Buffalo Trace Distillery, without being a smart aleck or being smarty, they give it to us when they give it to us. And most of the time, we don't even know until it's like a day before. They say, oh, tomorrow you're receiving a shipment of it. And unfortunately, it's as much as they send us. So the 12-year-old, I might see anywhere. I think last time we saw it like 3 to 4 times. We always get a shipment at the time that Pappy always hits. So I have no definitive number for you. I'm very sorry.
It's a hard thing to find.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, it's a really hard thing to find. I mean, anytime they release this stuff, I love Weller personally. And it drives me nuts because out here in Florida, we can get it. But there's only one basically store that carries it in our state. And I'm pretty good friends with the manager. And you would think that every now and then I could be told, like, hey, we might have some. But it's like lock and key. And it's just whenever they get it, it makes me sad.
Okay, so real quick, Dustin, to answer your question about the glassware, you can always shoot us an email asking, and we can see about special ordering the glassware for you. If not, just come in and ask, or we can place the order. But that's something in which we try to feature for our customers. Like, I've been trying to get us to carry Coup glasses, which I do love the Coup glasses, and as I've stated a couple of times. Let's see here. We got 11 in watching right now, 10 likes. And also, I just really want to give a shout out to everybody out there. Thank you so much, because right now, the Party Source Reviews channel is 971 subscribers. We're 29 away from
So close.
1,000, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Tony, you were a big help on that. I thank you too.
Awesome.
Ricardo Head has just joined our chat.
Hey,
Just
Ricardo.
got here. Choose with the midweek half dram of Old Forester single barrel. That is a great choice, my friend. Old Forester is unbeatable. Oh my God, Marty and I reviewed the rye.
Oh, how was it?
Wonderful.
Wow.
I describe it like Rittenhouse rye and 1792 had a baby.
Wow.
You get that
That's awesome.
dusty mellowness of the Rittenhouse with that spicy earthiness of the 1792, and it's just beautiful. But you get that Old Forester potassium banana.
Oh, I
Wonderful
love that.
stuff. And
well, I love the citrus notes too. I mean, you get on that.
you got some on that? Did you get to try it?
Well, no, what's the other Old Forester? The
1910?
yeah, the
1920?
1910. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
The rye is also lined price at the same price as the 100 proof.
Wow.
So it's $21 on our shelves in Kentucky.
That's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
you really can't. Come on.
I was like, they told me, said, oh, it's on the shelf right now. I'm like, oh, what is it, 40? And he's like, no, it's line price 21. I'm like, grab me a bottle right now, please.
I'll take it. I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
sold.
Marty and I, we went up and we did a live stream almost like an hour later because we were so floored and impressed.
Hey, man, so
Dustin,
I found a neat little treasure.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I found a neat little treasure.
Wow, where did you get that?
At an antique store here in Florida.
That was part of searching with your wife?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So what I did is I took all my weeded bourbons that were kind of getting a little too low, popped them in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. Real quick, Dustin, to answer your question, wait, what is this? That is the rye from Old Forester. Excuse me just a second. I got to juggle with a kitty cat.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I definitely need to try that rye. It sounds amazing.
And there we go. I'm back. Let's see here. I think I have the GG Wild Turkey, says iRider1. You will taste that 10-year. It is amazing. Dustin says, I wish I'd seen you at the Party Source today. When I was there, I'd have picked it up. Thought I spent way too much. Truly, truly understandable.
Oh, can you ever spend too much on good whiskey?
I was filming all over today, and Marty and I are trying some new stuff for the channel. We're trying to create a new intro for the spirits, and just trying to tweak everything on the channel to make it so much easier by having more B-roll footage over things. So we're averaging about 3 minutes watch time per visit. And I want to take it from 3 to the actual 5 minutes. We're also trying to shorten our videos just a hair and cut out the fluff.
But sometimes the fluff is what matters.
Okay, now Dustin says also there was a great guy at the tasting station tonight, though. Absolutely value-added guy. Wish I'd gotten his name. Short guy with glasses, tall red-haired guy with a beard. Or let's see who else was there tonight. Medium guy, black hair, black beard, and black glasses, tall. Just kind of curious. If not, there was a good-looking guy roaming around just for a little bit, but I was upstairs most of the time. Older African-American. Okay, that is Bradley. Wonderful guy. He loves pouring at the bar. He only works on Wednesdays. Love Bradley. Yeah, Bradley is very, very customer-orientated. Love him a lot. Okay, so Tony, what have you discovered lately in the month that you've been off in the world of whiskeys?
Yeah. I have discovered how busy it can be during the holidays. How when you're in charge of all the returns for the whole country, how you can be very busy in January.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Truly, truly. I mean, there is nothing like liquor in the liquor at Christmas time. And honestly, people are like, how much do people drink? And my response is this. If I was hanging out with my biological family, I would be drinking a lot too. So I drink very little at Christmas time. And I don't drink that much at home either. Because I guess it's like the classic thing of the cook or the baker.
Yep.
It's just like I'm around it all the time. I appreciate it. And, I do have to know everything and taste it. So I am quite often like, oh gosh, like the other day I got quote unquote kidnapped by a local distillery. I was down in Lexington. I went to visit a local place. I thought, I have a few minutes. I'm going to stop at this distillery. And they saw me and they snatched me up. They took me out to dinner and they started pouring drinks down me. And the cocktails were fantastic. The food was great. And it was just one of those ones to where they were just happy to have me with them. And so one of the perks of the job. So that was a long roundabout way of saying I don't drink that much at home. So.
Well, what I find kind of funny is every now and then I mosey on into an establishment and I'm looking at their selection and I'll get somebody who maybe doesn't know me and they're like, "Oh, can I help you find something?" And I'm thinking, what do I not have? What have I not tried before? That's the hard one.
Okay, I'm going to read this quick comment from Ricardo Head. He says, "Hey, if we're talking glassware, I like the Luigi Borromoli, but the Coppola are a bit more drastic. Copita are a bit more drastic." Okay, so yeah, the Luigi, I mean, those are straight crystalware, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. They have the lovely ting behind them, and they are solid. They feel flexible, but they're solid. If those are the ones I'm thinking of, if not, I apologize.
Well, and wouldn't the Copita be the most classic? I mean, we're talking about before, the Glencairn, days of that coming out. Wouldn't you say that would probably be the most classic for, let's say, Scotch?
Let me see here. Yeah, in fact, they recently re-released the Diamond Glencairn glass, which actually has diamond etches on it. They were known for also like their rockware. Mm-hmm. And they had the classic snifter, which if I was thinking, I would have grabbed up my glassware collection to hold up my snifter and my Glencairn. Originally, I was drinking out of snifters, and I didn't see the point of Glencairn until somebody actually... Oh, no. Dustin says he broke his diamond Glencairn.
Oh, no.
Have you been watching Josh over at Talking Whiskey?
Oh, don't start his habits.
Oh, man. He has the habit of breaking a Glencairn. which he's going to actually hopefully be joining us next week, as well as Mash and Drum is looking forward to joining us next week for the MGP talk. Which I don't know if you heard that, but MGP is going to be joining us for the talk next week.
It's definitely going to be exciting.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to Vegas in a couple of weeks. There's a place out there called the Whiskey Attic. Heard anything about this place? Yes, I have. Love that place. Well, sorry, let me rephrase that. Love hearing about it. Never been there. Vegas is on my to-go list.
My in-laws live in Vegas, and I have yet to try it. So I've heard about it, but I've yet to try it. I've been to Vegas a lot when I was younger, but in my later years, not so much.
Okay, so the let's see here. The Whiskey Attic, actually, a couple of this on a regular basis. Customers are coming in and they're showing me pictures from the Whiskey Attic. I need to show my home bottles. I will do that 2 weeks from now. I will have them all laid out because I have this little corner place to where all my whiskey is. And honestly, politely put, I don't have that much. Most of my drinking is done at work. And I do enjoy I pick up like crazy esoteric stuff, as you guys know, and then I make cocktails. And so I'm a big cocktail fanatic. So I'm always trying a different cocktail. Mostly on my wife, but so I know that if it's a really sweet one, I give it to her, and if I really like it, then I use it somehow or another at the party stores. So, Ricardo Head, is their program worth it? I really cannot say if their program is worth it. I have never tried it. Most of my experience that I have has just been people who have come in and they're showing me their pictures of the bars, all the alcohol, and are just basically just saying how much of a fantastic time they had.
Do they offer like certification?
I don't know. In fact, last week on our YouTube channel, on the live stream, Marty was on, and we were talking about whiskey sommeliers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like
and,
the one in Austin.
Such as the Whiskey Vault. And as Marty said, he looks like he's got a Flavor Flav starter kit. Ricardo Head, since you're booking it, please let me know. I would love to know how that works out, what they're like.
It would be awesome.
I'm just really curious about it. But the one that Marty and I were talking about is we weren't trying to pick on them.
Mm-hmm.
We were just basically saying, is it a real thing? And we really broke it down. We read what they offered. We read this interesting program in which I believe it was Dustin actually forwarded it to us. And we were just we started discussing it. And as we were reading like what they offered, they would certify you as a master sommelier level 1 in 2 days for $4,000.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
$4,000 and 2 days to become a master sommelier level 1.
Mm-hmm.
$12,000 would get you level 6, and that takes you an average of 6 days. No, I'm sorry. And even more terrifyingly, they don't nobody on one person on the panel has liquor experience. They're all like marketers, musicians. Only one of them had experience as a barback. Most of their program actually consists of storytelling. Oh, it's a level 5, not 6. My apologies.
Yeah,
Thank you for correcting on that. It's one of those ones to where it's just like they're more interested in selling it to you than actually teaching you. They're teaching you how to sell. So it's kind of if they said a master sommelier salesman,
sure,
I might say that's kind of more of a way to put it. Is your Elijah Craig a store pick there?
The Elijah Craig I have is the non-age statement.
Non-age statement. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were asking if that was a store pick that you were drinking. For those of you who do not know, Tony is from the not-so-secret Speakeasy. He is another YouTube channel, and he's based out of Florida.
Yeah, so and we kind of have a different market. Every now and then y'all get something, and I get really jealous because it's something I try to look for and I can't find. So yeah, the party source has it going on. I joke around all the time. I have every now and then I have somebody on my team, and I have your stickers all over my office, and I'm like, that's the place to go. I have a good buddy, his family's from Cincinnati, that's on my team, and I'm like, dude, next time you're in town, you need to go to the party source for sure.
Yeah. So as I shot you a message the other day, I'm going to be down in your neck of the wood, hopefully this summer. So maybe we can actually meet, and I can bring some stuff for you to try.
Definitely.
So let's see here. Ricardo Head says, into the second bottle of Elijah Craig's store pick in New Jersey here. Nice. That I do love Elijah Craig barrel picks. They're just phenomenal. Let's see here. Now, Dustin is also saying Florida from what I've seen, is where all the hard to get whiskeys show up. I have heard that a lot.
Yeah. Well, you know, Florida, we have a lot of folks from all over. So, you know, we have a big selection. For sure.
That's good.
You know what, surprisingly, I mean, you're speaking of coming to visit Florida. I don't know if you know this, but Mr. Mickey Mouse actually has a lot of whiskey tastings. They actually started up a whiskey bourbon trail at downtown Disney. Yeah, man, it is a little comical because it's funny. Most people, when you think of Disney, you're not thinking whiskey.
I've heard they had good cocktails.
They do. We stayed over at Animal Kingdom Lodge and one really nice villa, and I go down to the bar, and they straight up have a flight of scotch, tons of different scotches
Really?
you can. Yeah, man, it's really cool. A lot of people don't realize it, but it is like Epcot. Epcot has some great whiskey. They have their scotch. They have all that. It's pretty awesome. You still
That
think
is awesome.
about that? Yeah.
I actually saw somebody streaming sometime. He was like doing a speakeasies tour in Disney somewhere, and it was like he said it was like it wasn't quite finished yet as he was filming it, or the room wasn't finished. Somebody is like, when you wish upon a star,
yeah,
just pour the bourbon from afar.
I've been there quite a few times, and I've kind of been, how do I put it? I've shied away from doing like lives or videos at Disney. I probably should. The Disney YouTube community is pretty strong out here, so I'm always not wanting to step on anyone's toes, but I think it's about time for the speakeasy to spread our wings.
Why not, man? Why not? Yeah. Let's see. Looking to also branch out to hopefully start doing more of these live streams. So we've been really hammering into the We Talk Whiskey Wednesday. I want to start doing a Cigar Tuesday, which some of you are familiar that I have gone to the cigar tastings that we do. We have this, it's actually America's longest running cigar social gathering. And it is something we've been doing it now for close to 15 years, I think. And it's every Tuesday night, starting at 5 o'clock to like after 9 o'clock and it's a cigar thing where it's just like there are bags filled with cigars for you to buy, for people to drink, and to just have cigars to purchase and smoke. There's giveaways. There's all kinds of stuff. It is most of the time elbow to elbow, and it's beautiful. It's on the Cincinnati River. It's on the Kentucky side of the Ohio River, floating on the river in a bar called the Beer Cellar right next to Hooters. So you can have a couple of drinks and go get some wings. But anyway, as I was saying, I want to start filming for at least an hour at those things on Tuesdays. I've done a couple of them, but I have to get the boss's permission first before I start doing that.
Definitely. Because you never know what's going to happen.
Marty Holland just jumped in, and he says, "Look
Marty.
out for Wedgie Wednesday." Now, Dustin has also says he has had the sherry aged Indian cask. And let's see here. How was it, guys? For me, I had the Cavalon Sherry Fino barrel. I thought it was really, really good. That's also Taiwanese. The Amrut Sherry finishing, I liked.
Hey, man, the Tomatin, I love when they do their sherry finishing. It's awesome. The one I have right here is the bourbon with the Virginia Oak Classic, which is one of my favorites. But, man, their sherry, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Dustin says he's doing the Amrut. That Amrut, I was really impressed. Have you ever, anybody in the chat, and Tony, you included, have you tried the Amrut Fusion?
I don't think I have.
That is the one in which was a huge winner out at the at one of the Whiskey Fest about 7 years ago. Nobody would touch it, and yeah. It's East meets West is what they call it, fusion. And nobody would touch the Indian whiskeys. So they brown bagged them, and they just started winning all these awards. And so when they pulled it out, everybody was just like, oh my gosh, wow. It's like the Japanese whiskeys. Yeah. So real quick, 11 watching, 11 likes. If you haven't hit that like, hit it again. Hit it for us, please. And in the chat, all of you are rocking. Thank you so much. And joining in the hangout today is Tony from Not So Secret Speakeasy. Highly recommend you check out his channel as soon as you can. Let's see here. Dustin now throws in. It was a 125. He bought it at the Party Source tonight. I'm not sure what I think yet. The fusion is beyond outstanding. And I will let you talk now, Tony.
Well, it's just amazing to me because I don't think sometimes us as Americans, we don't realize how much whiskey roots are in India. Primarily, I mean, especially, I hate to bring up a hard subject, but like colonization, I mean, that really pushed a lot of that love for whiskey. I have a lot of South Asian friends, and they were some of the first people who introduced me to Scotch. So, I mean, big props to India, big time.
Yeah. That's like, Marty is the one who taught me about it is actually World War II when Americans were stationed over in Japan. That's what founded the Japanese love for whiskey, for American bourbon. It was actually the Americans would ask mom and dad to send them bourbon, which was the worst bourbon that could be afforded, and it was Four Roses. They would send it over there, and they would take like these Four Roses bottles, and it was as good as gold. It was like a Zippo lighter to some of the GIs. You know, you'd trade a Zippo lighter for like a night out on the town or whatever. And they would trade this stuff for like untold riches of things that were super valuable to us for this cheap whiskey.
Sure. Well, it's kind of done a full circle with Beam Sutton.
Very, very true. Yeah. And I think it's hilarious that the Japanese actually bought the Four Roses company, and it was a terrible rot gut when it was purchased, and now it's like way up there in quality.
That's awesome. I mean, I've heard. I mean, a lot of people speak so passionately about Four Roses, and I'm going to tell you, for years I kind of passed it over because I was like, yeah, everyone likes that. That's an everyday sipper for a lot of people. And it isn't until like this year I really started getting into Four Roses.
Dustin just threw out India is the largest whiskey consuming country, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as I understand, yeah. He also says, I hate Four Roses. Wish I got it. Okay, let me say this. How about this one? What is the most unexpected bottle of whiskey that you ever tasted? It can be a surprise. It could be a good one. Just one in which they caught you completely off guard. For me, I think it would probably be Sazerac 18.
Hmm.
It was about 10 years ago. I was learning how to drink whiskey. I was at Buffalo Trace, and my boss at that time was teaching me to drink whiskey. I'm dying because I can't drink whiskey.
Sure.
And they put this glass on the flight, and they say, now try this one. And I taste it, and I'm just like, holy cow, I can drink whiskey. And it was like, what is this? And they're like, Sazerac 18. I'm like, okay. But I had no idea how rare that bottle was. Ricardo Head says, Fire and Cane surprised him. Was it in a good way or a bad way, Ricardo Head? And while we're waiting on that response, how about you, Tony?
For me, it was Lefroy. I just, I heard for a long time, people talk about it. And I had Isla's, but it was kind of like the cheap stuff, and which is fine. I mean, you watch my channel, I don't hate on anything that's low cost. I'm about that. But I fell in love with it. I wasn't expecting to fall in love with it. I feel pretty similar about Ardbeg. A lot of people, it's like Ardbeg versus Lefroy. I'm like, both of them. They're both awesome. But yeah, Lefroy definitely was like, I didn't realize like how much I really loved it.
Okay, I just got to tell you, this one was Lefroy Quarter Cask.
Oh, it's good.
It's good now, but I had no idea the first time I tried it. They were messing with me. Let's just say that. I'm learning to drink, and I'm like, what's the difference between scotches? And I'm like, is there a difference between the Isla, the Highland? Because I'm noticing all these different names written on there. And he just basically, says, yes, there is. That's a very good question. He pours me a glass of this, and I'm like, no. He's like, write down what you taste and what your thoughts are. I do. I write down, it was like a Glenfiddich 12. I wrote down what I thought. I don't remember, but I wrote down. He then poured me something else. And he said, write down your thoughts. I took one sip, and I wrote down, no redeeming quality to mankind whatsoever.
Wow.
And that was the Lefroy Quarter Cask.
Wow.
He just started laughing because he was like, I was hoping I'd get something crazy out of you.
Well,
all right, let me catch up on chats here for a little bit. Let's see here. Dustin says, Four Roses Blind, it was thought it was god-awful. On the plus side, Balvin Pete Week 2003 was insanely good. I do not have words. Alec the Beer Master, J.O., have a wonderful night. Hope to talk to you again really soon. Thank you so much for coming in, Alex the Beer Master. I really, really appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. Don't forget to tune in next week as we are going to be having MGP, one of their reps. Thank you so much. And Ricardo Head says, I thought F&C was would have a good place, but ripped through it and bought more right away. Okay, so he liked it so much he had to run out to get some more. And we're up to date there. And that is a cattail right there. Yeah.
Well, have you ever had a bottle when you first tried it, you were like, and then you let it rest, and you came back to it, and you're like, wow, how did I not get this?
Yes. Quite a few times. And I've had it turn around just the opposite.
Yeah, me too.
And it's like, unfortunately, that happened with me on about 3 years ago. I managed, it was the last time second to last time I was able to acquire a birthday bourbon.
Oh.
And I liked it when I opened it, but the more it sat, the less I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always enjoyed the birthday bourbon, but that one was it just really fell short for me. Good cocktail. Needs a cherry, though, or an orange twist. So, what's everybody in the chat drinking right now? Let's see here. We've got 9 in the chat. Got 12 likes. I thank you so much for all of you tuning in. I really, really do. And let's see here. We also, let me see. Still on the Amrut Shiri.
Mm.
Did you get a chance to watch our Star Trek review?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
Okay.
Did you do it on the new Star Trek?
We
Discovery?
did one for the 10 Forward Vodka.
Yes. No, I'm so sorry. I literally thought you meant Star Trek Discovery, like the show.
Okay.
But yes, I did. That I want to try that so bad. I haven't been able to find it anymore.
The James T. Kirk.
Yes.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. Amos was just a true ham on that one. And we did the 10 Forward Vodka. I had a couple of beer guys from Special K come into the party source, and I've been meaning to do a review of that, so I snatched them up, and one of them was a Star Trek fan. And for a vodka, it's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Was it Special K? He didn't really watch Star Trek, wasn't it?
It was Special K, yeah, it doesn't really, but it was
didn't
Radar.
He call it Star Trek, too?
Yeah, he was like Star Trek.
That's awesome. That was awesome, dude. I was laughing so much. I was in my office while I was watching it, and people were like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "You gotta watch this."
Yeah. Let's see here now. Dustin says James T. Kirk, he poured me that Jo bit. He said it's a bit meh. I will back you on that. It's a bit meh, and I had more fun making the video than drinking it. Oh, we got rhythmic music and soul in the group saying, "Good morning, have a good day, beautiful channel." Thank you so much. He's actually a cool channel, guys. He's got like a bunch of music going on and choir stuff. It's a really interesting one, musical entertainment. It's actually really cool. If you get a minute, just swing over there and check it out. It's just kind of fun. All right, and with that said, there's my plug on that one. Now, just a question for you, Tony. Have you discovered any interesting channels lately?
You know, not so much, not as much as I'd really like to. Just been so busy with work and all, but you know what? It's funny to me is that sometimes I gotta admit, I think YouTube isn't pushing out our stuff as much as I wish they would. There's a couple
Very
videos
true.
that y'all did, and I'm like, I didn't know about them until a couple days later. And and hey, if anyone's watching this, make sure you ring that bell. And I have that bell ring. But
I find a lot of times my phone, whenever I log in, that's when it's telling me that I have a notification. It's not notifying me unless I actually turn on my phone. I'm like, oh, hey, somebody's live. I jump on there, and it's like, this was 2 hours ago.
That's happened to me.
That's kind of aggravating because, you know, it's like we're really a big family, and I like going out and helping everybody else.
Absolutely. And y'all are on Twitter, right?
Yes, we are really starting to push our Twitter channel. We're starting to push the Party Source Twitter and Instagram. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but it was ignored for the longest time. So this year, we had like a couple of younger guys coming in, and they're just like, guys, why not? And so we reset, and it was just basically, we're really starting to push it this year. Okay, Dustin says, a channel I feel is not noticed, the Whiskey Coach, who's near Cleveland. Really good guy. Great on reviews. He's cool. Not Whiskey Coat. Not Whiskey Couch. Yeah, it's Whiskey Couch. And of course you're saying you'll have to check him out. So Whiskey Couch. I don't know if I know that guy or not. Let me check. Let me take a look and see if I'm actually working with him.
Well, there's also Antonio's channel, and you've had him on here.
Oh yeah, Antonio is great. He is wanting to really jump in more and more on these. Yeah, I'm not subscribed to these guys. How have I not found these guys? He's got 18,000 subscribers, and he's got 246 videos. Oh, shout out Bourbon Blind. Yeah, Bourbon Blind. Those guys grew overnight.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of them. Of course, they started a unique pattern that nobody else was doing. And which, how in the world they're getting those rare bottles, I don't know.
Yeah. Now, that's the one with a group of guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have their wife introduce, and they're on that really tall bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, so there's a whiskey couch and a whiskey coach. Okay, let me try coach here. Let's see here. COAC, whiskey coach. Here we go. One of the ones that this guy was, okay, this guy, I don't know him either. Okay. I'll check him out. There's one in particular that just showed up on my channel. For the life of me, I can't remember the channel's name. And it's, it was just one of those ones in which it just showed up. And it was in my spam. It wasn't even in my spam filter. It got through the spam, and it's like, subscribe to my channel. And I'm like, wow. Okay. Normally ones like that, because of YouTube, I normally delete those because YouTube does not like ones like that. Ooh. But, you know, I always like to click to see what they do and what they say. So I clicked on it, and it is, without being offensive, it is a deaf boy with cerebral palsy in a wheelchair.
Oh, wow.
Basically showing off his life, and he was unboxing a WWE fighter. Mm-hmm. And he was operating his camera. As far as I can tell, he operates the camera, and he was just doing a good job. And I actually I've watched a couple of his videos, and it was very interesting just kind of watching him. And just seeing, you know, somebody who was acting as a director and filming and doing everything himself. And it was just, as you can see, I was impressed with it.
Yeah, definitely.
And for the life of me, I'm trying to find the channel so I can tell who it is. Okay.
Well, of course, you got to go visit Talking Whiskey.
Yeah. You know, oh, gosh. How can you not? Especially since he's launched that 2-minute whiskey review, which those are having me laughing.
So cool.
Yeah. And
like
oh goodness, it was actually he is so much fun, and yeah. His quality has just jumped straight up. Mm-hmm. He's really excited. He was going to join us tonight, but he has to. His kid is basically in the playoffs or something like that. Yeah, and as a result, if they win tonight, he has to go to a ball game every night until Saturday.
Oh, wow. So it happens when you're dead.
Yeah, me, I'm just only thing right now I'm doing with my kid is he has choir, mm-hmm. and I am the Boy Scout captain. So I have to. He's a year above the one that I'm teaching, and so since I did such a good job last year, they invited me to keep doing it this year.
Right.
So I'm enjoying it. I went from 3 kids to 9 kids this year. And they get a kick about watching some of the videos. I have to be careful what I show them.
Sure.
But the one that I did about a month ago, about what Amos and I have planned for the year of 2019. If you guys, I'm sure most of you have seen that video, but it's the one where Amos and I have discussions. I don't know if you saw that one, Tony.
I don't think I saw that one.
Hang tight.
Just look it up.
I'm going to drop that one in the link because it got a whole, but not a monster amount of views, but it got a lot of views. And people, it's probably right now one of the most commented on videos that we have done. And if you just look at the thumbnail on it, you'll understand because it's called Beer Me. What is planned for 2019? What is planned for the future? The Party Source. And Amos and I, we just kind of all went hog wild on that one, reviewing that one. Oh, boy. Refresh that. I copied out here. Here we go. Well, hello, one sip at a time. It's good to see you. Do me a favor. Do me a favor, Trish, and you and Brandon, watch that video I just posted. Not right now, but you guys will get a full kick out of that video, truly, because Amos kicked me more than once. All right. Excuse me. Okay, so let's catch up on it here. We've got Dustin saying, last tiny pour of the night, Kavalan X Bourbon Oak, another JO recommendation. Holy cow. That bottle is beautiful.
I'll be right back, okay?
All right, not going anywhere.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you, Trish. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I hope to see your comments about that video, Trish. All right. So, guys, we got 7 in the chat. We got 13 likes. If you've not hit that like button. We are pushing an hour, so we should be we are doing really, really good right now. I do love these We Talk Whiskey Wednesdays. Got to talk with my bosses tomorrow about the upcoming of the YouTube channel, which I've got some ideas on how to flex this out and make the channel better. So the growth of the channel, I am just saying thank you so much for all of you. We are so close to 1,000. Thank you, guys, really and truly. Okay, so I'm getting asked, what is the most ignored bottle at the Party Source right now? Do you want crazy, silly stuff like Amaro's, stupid candy liqueurs, or are you looking more for bourbon and scotch? For me, the one that if I was going to say bourbon and scotches, bourbon and scotch, that's what I was betting. For bourbon, it was ignored a long time, but I really started telling people about it. And that was the Old Charter 8. $13 to $13 for a 750, and it was just ignored. And finally, I cracked a bottle and started pouring it on the education table, and now it's just one of those ones we're having a hard time keeping in stock because of it. So that's one of them that got pushed. One of them that I feel like was horribly being unjustly ignored is some of the Bird Dog line, because their blended whiskey is just not that good. And so people were saying that about the 10-year-old. And so I really started pushing that. And now that is one of them that is it. Okay, I got it. Okay, it's took me that long just talking about them. Our Oishi. The Oishi Scotch, which is a Japanese rice whiskey. It is a private barrel personally selected by the Party Source. We have 2 of them. One is the brandy barrel finish. The second one is a sherry barrel finish. Has reminiscent elements of a sake, but when you really start diving into it, it is immaculately made. It is just freaks out the American palate. It is a Japanese whiskey made from rice. The first one is finished in a brandy barrel. The second one is finished in a sherry. They are also single barrels that are personally selected by us at the Party Source.
Y'all get a lot of really good stuff.
We really, really do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dustin says he knows those. I might have poured those for you. There's a couple of other bottles, like our single barrels. We have a couple of ryes that I feel like are getting really, really ignored. Yeah, they were a touch pricey. They are coming in at $79 for a single barrel. And for some reason, people are just kind of really shy about buying that for a Japanese whiskey. Huge fan of the Dad's Hat Rye, which we have a private barrel of that, which is 128.4 proof. It is like taking a bite out of a very ashy cigar.
Wow.
So it is intense. The way I describe that particular bottle of whiskey is it doesn't care if it offends you. It will grab your tongue and play it like a banjo string. But it's a lot of fun. Okay, yeah, that one is, put that one on your list. I'll definitely show you that particular bottle. And let me see. What is another one that I think must be? Well, the Cassius Clay. I felt like that was really getting ignored. So I find that when I feel like something is getting ignored, I start really telling people about it. And as a result, it's no longer available. Oh, wait, I got another one, another private barrel. It is a private barrel of the Great King by Compass Box.
Oh, Compass Box is amazing.
God.
Everything
Married for a year and a half in a sherry barrel.
Wow. What I like about them is, I mean, they are whiskey lovers. And not to say like people that make whiskey, you have to love whiskey to make whiskey. But there's a big difference between, I think, being like a whiskey geek and just someone in the business. You know, like they're so passionate. I really, really respect that.
That is very true.
Mhm.
You know, that being, yeah, there are those in which I decided to make a whiskey, so I did.
Yeah.
Then there are those that are just like, I love whiskey, I studied whiskey, I've tasted whiskey, and I decided to make a whiskey.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right, so let's see here. Let's catch up on chat. Ricardo Head says he likes a dad's hat. It is from Bristol, Pennsylvania. Dustin says you're a big pusher on the 100. You're not big on pushing over $100 stuff. Anything there? And he says the Compass Box is effing amazing. There are two great kings, right? Artist Blend and something else. We have the Artist Blend. You got me thinking, Tony.
I don't know. I'm trying to think here. We're talking about Compass Box, right?
Yeah, the Compass Box Great King. He thinks there's two versions of it. I'm going to Google that real quick.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was literally just going to do that. The problem when you kind of, I think sometimes like us, I will be the first one to admit this. Sometimes it can be a little bit of white noise because I'm exposed to so many different names. So it's kind of hard to like pinpoint which one is which.
There's King Street, and then there's the King Street Artist Blend. Looks like those both fall into the same one. So it looks like it's just the Great King Street Artist Blend. That's, wait a second. One of them's a sherry finishing. That's why there's two of them.
Yep.
Okay. There we go. Hopefully that answers the question. King Street and Artist. All right. All right. All right. So we were able to figure that out. One is sherried. Ricardo Head just threw that into the chat. He's one step ahead of us. Glass Go and Artist.
I think
now, one of our assistant GMs a couple of summers ago did a tour of Scotland doing all the distilleries, in which the distilleries basically paid to send them over there so they could go tour just because of the liquor store.
Yeah.
One of the benefits. The Party Sources version is the Ricardo, is a Richard. Let's see. What else? Yeah, okay, to go back a little bit, I'm not really big on pushing stuff over $100. It's just one of those ones to where I find that I have been cursed a couple of times because of that. And the other was because there's a husband-wife team in there, and the wife looked at me over the table and said, I will kill you if you show him another $100 bottle.
Oh, man.
And so I didn't. But the other is I like to think, I like to showcase on my budget.
I like that.
And, 70's pushing it. $100 can be a little tight. 30 is even better.
Well, I can kind of tell you this. I've tried so much just because I work in the industry. But when it comes to spending my own money, I don't buy anything over 60. Just because I don't want to feel guilty about it. And I would rather be able to drink it, enjoy it, than, I don't know what it is, but if I have a bottle, even like this bottle right here, it's starting to get a little low. And I keep thinking, all this oxygen, is it going to like oxidize it, or am I going to lose it? Is it going to, I don't like that. That's just me. I like to drink it when it's there.
Okay, Ricardo Head says he received hedonism as a gift. That's a nice gift. Tony, I know what you mean. The other is we got, are you ready for this? A private barrel of Ocho Añejo.
Oh, wow.
12 months,
Oh,
5
man.
days, 108.8 proof. No
Wow.
dye in it. It looks like a very young Reposado. And before I pour it, I say this to the customers. I apologize in advance. This is $100 a bottle.
Mhm.
And, well, I don't tell them that. I say, I apologize in advance. And they taste it, and they're like, oh, my gosh, why are you apologizing? I say, because it's $100 a bottle, and I know you're going to buy it. And they go buy one. Holy F, Ocho is the best, says Ricardo Head. You're very true. Ocho is unbeatable. For all of you in the chat, if you don't know about Ocho tequila, Ocho, of course, stands for Spanish of 8, and it takes 8 years to grow the agave, and they have 8 farms. They do 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, 6 year, 7 year, 8 year. What comes of the first year is all that's done. What comes of the second year is all that is made, and so forth and so on. So they're always cycling through, and it is amazing. Better $100 than $14.92, says Ricardo Head. You know, got me thinking on it. Ocho is better than. Okay, 1942 tequila. Yes, for some reason I was trying to place what 1942 Scotch. I'm sorry.
The bourbon.
Like 1792.
1792. I was thinking the same thing. You know, the problem is there's a lot of how do I say this? I'm Mexican. I grew up in California. I know tequila very well. I mean, literally, I mean, I have ancestors that were been making it for hundreds and hundreds of years. But there's a really big difference between your really good quality tequila and your just okay tequila that's good. Like even like Patron. I mean, I like Patron. I'm not going to diss it, but I mean, come on, you're paying for the name.
That's very, very true. I heard a rumor, I don't know if it's true or not, that Patron actually catches the runoff of the agave, so
Really?
it is just quote unquote barely blue agave. Honestly, yes, I prefer. I think my hidden secret tequila is Cantera Negra, in which Marty and I were just talking. Well, I'm sorry, Cantera Negro, and it is Negra. It's feminine, and it is it's just one of the best secrets. It's really, really good. I'll diss Patron. Well, no bourbon, and you like Repo. Okay. Oh boy, man, that's a tough one.
It is.
Reposado or Añejo? That's a tough one for me.
I like Añejo. I've always been more akin to the as an older, you know, and you know.
Oh, Park Beer just threw out saying, "Have you tried Grand Patron?" Now we start getting into those higher end Patrons. Yeah, there's some really good stuff to be had.
Definitely.
Just their basic. Well, I'll pass. I'll buy something else for that price point.
Yeah.
So yes, really Park Beer. I love the Grand Patron. It was really, really cool. And another one is Tony. It was a Herradura that I had that was an Añejo Crystal. It was Añejo, but basically they filtered it until all the color was taken out. And I tried that, and it just snapped every synapses in my brain. And I'm like, really? Oh my God, that's good.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a crazy, crazy thing. If you can ever try a shot of it, it's an Añejo tequila that has been filtered until it is crystal clear.
Wow.
And it's just, I want to say it's Herradura Crystal. It's not cheap.
It sounds interesting for sure.
Okay, now Dustin says, I've been told there are some tequilas that people blind think are whiskey. Is that legit? Yes. Very true. Tony is shaking his head. Yes.
Definitely.
Most of those are the extra añejos.
Yeah.
That's because they're finished for 3 years in bourbon barrels.
Yeah, I was going to say, and that's the thing that I don't think a lot of people are realizing. It's kind of like this. What I love about what we do in the States with whiskey is everyone uses our barrels. I mean, think about how much scotch now is aged in ex-bourbon barrels, or the tequila, or even sherry. There's a lot of sherry where they're starting to do that, and it's cool. I like that. I have a lot of respect for folks who kind of, with their products, kind of take from each other in the life cycle. I dig that.
I like that too, Tony.
Yeah.
You make a really, really good point there. What was it? Marty made a particular point that for the life of me just slipped my brain. I'm sorry, never mind. So I'm going to read this comment, which says, Fortaleza, Casa Agul, Raza Agul, Riazul just bought a rum aged in BT barrels. Okay. So Fortaleza, Casa Azul, and Riazul, I nearly did it again. Riazul are both fantastic. Goodness sakes. Cantera Negra is the one I always go to. Los Rijos is another one that I really enjoy.
Yeah, they're good.
And, oh, phooey. 3030. There it is. That's my budget one. $17 for a Reposado. That's wonderful.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
It's very smoky. Got that tequila salt going on, the agave salt flavor. But their añejo is very tobacco driven, really, really smoky and black. And I got to meet the head distiller, which I felt like a horse's butt afterwards because there was this lady and she's showing the product and she's talking and I'm like, hey, can I help you? And she's like, no, I'm just this is the distiller of 3030. This was about 5 years ago before the YouTube channel. And I'm like, holy cow. And it was like me reading a rock, reaching a rock. So I just grabbed his hand and started pumping his hand. I love your product. Thank you so much. It's so good. And she just pats me on the shoulder and says, he doesn't speak English.
Oh,
oh God. He was just looking at me like,
Oh, man. That's awesome.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. That was just, man, it's like, I wish I could remember. Because when I was in third grade, I was very fluent in Spanish. But
sure.
That was a long time ago.
Oh, bro, think about how I feel. My parents speak Spanish, but I don't. And I even have family members who don't realize I don't speak Spanish. I've known them my whole life, and they come to me and they're speaking Spanish. I'm like, Theo or Thea, I don't understand what you're saying. And they give me this look like, what's wrong with you?
Oh, goodness. All right, going to catch up on chat just a little bit here. Just bought a rum aged in a Buffalo Trace barrel. All right. Let's see here. Dustin says, I need to try tequila that's bourbon-like. I never have been wowed. Okay. Next time you're in, talk to me. I will show you the Los Rijos Extra Añejo. That's a wonderful introduction. And then we'll move on to the the Cantera Negra. Then let's see here. Go ahead.
There's one I've never tried, and I've always been meaning to ask you, and I don't know why I haven't tried it. Is that Hornitos, the black, the one done actually in bourbon? Have you tried that?
Which one?
This one. I've always seen it on the shelf. I've just never tried it.
Tequila or bourbon?
Tequila.
One that's finished in a bourbon barrel? I'm sorry, I'm not going to understand the question.
Yeah, it's Hornitos black.
Oh, yes, the Hornitos black. I have tried it. I was not that impressed.
Okay.
I do know a lot of people that do enjoy it, though. It's very, very, very mellow.
Okay.
Hello, Vanessa Kitty. It's good to see you in the chat. Thank you for stopping in. I do appreciate it. Now, Park Bear also says, I have friends that think the Party Source Select Grander rum is whiskey. I will back you. I love messing with people on that one. Grander rum, in case you do not know, Tony, is made by an old school Kentuckian who moved to Florida to go to Panama to make a rum to treat it like a bourbon.
Wow.
He is following most of the guidelines to make a bourbon, but he's treating that it is a rum.
Yes, from
the sugar cane. He's doing 8-year full age statement, and I have put it in blind flights just to screw with people.
Wow.
I have had so much fun with that bottle. People come in, and it's 105.4 proof, and you drink it, and it just, you can see it blow their mind.
It's Grander rum, you said?
Grander rum. True 8-year-old. They have a 12-year-old that I swear tastes like Weller 12-year-old.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. I have a 3-part interview with him on the YouTube channel, their owner of it. And joining us, the Rot Gut Review. How did I forget these guys? These guys are, they seem to be relatively new to the YouTube scene, or at least I just discovered them. They say, hey there, folks. How late am I? We have been going for 75 minutes. Wow. Okay. I wasn't expecting that we were going that long. Tony always helps the time go by so quickly. But the Rot Gut Review, guys, if you haven't checked them out, check them out. They're at 201 subscribers. These guys deserve some love. These guys, they have no problem going in and trying to find the worst whiskeys that you can drink and see what they can do to improve it. They're fun. They really are. They're humorous. And I believe they're a father-son team. Is that correct, guys? If I am wrong on that, please correct me. But it's well worth a check out. They're fun. Okay.
You're subscribed. You are now at 202.
Okay, 202. Okay, they are a father-son team. So as you can see, I have been enjoying their videos. They did this one whiskey that I'd never heard of, and it's like 2 years old. And when they took a sniff, they're like, "This is paint thinner," and they were just like, "It's like," they said, "We have to root for the home team because it's for their home state," but they felt really bad because the whiskey was terrible. I have felt that way numerous times. Okay, how about this question, Tony? Worst whiskey you think you've ever tasted in your life?
It was weird. Right when we were talking about them, I was already thinking about that. The Canadian. Let me see what I actually still have the bottle. Oh yes, Black Velvet. Black Velvet.
Okay, Black Velvet.
That.
Yeah, that can be right.
It was a gift. It was a promotional gift from somebody, and I've never had it before because it's bottom shelf. And I did a review on it. I didn't like hate it where I wanted to throw it out, but I'm going to be really honest with you. Anytime I get a new decanter, I put some Black Velvet in it because it's going to clean it.
Oh gosh, that's horrible.
And I let it sit there for like a couple weeks, and I pour it out and clean it out.
Oh man.
Oh
okay.
no.
Ricardo Head says anything from Hune, not for me. For me, the one I personally did not like, they are so much better now. Okay, Park Bear says it was Dalmore 12. You are not the only person to tell me that. Dalmore, yeah. I have found a lot of people love Dalmore, but then I find some people are just like, you know, I use that to clean my car battery. No, thank you.
Wow. Yeah,
okay. Bearded Beerman says, oh, that's funny. I got a buddy who will drink Black Velvet.
Well, hey, if you're going to mix it or, you know, like some Coke, Black Velvet, all right, cool. It does the job. If you're looking just to get to the right spot, it's not going to fall.
Like what are those little whiskey pouches that look like they're the old packets of aspirin?
Yeah.
What are the porta shots? That's what they're called.
Yeah.
The porta shots was the best review I ever heard of those was when they first hit the shelf. A guy took them into the Reds game and he said, they fit in my pocket perfectly. I was able to get them past security. They were terribly difficult to open. They tasted god awful, but they got me where I wanted to be. Okay, Vanessa Kitty says, no, Black Velvet. Park Bear says, I do like Dalmore Port Barrel. And the Rock Gut Reverse says, Dalmore is incredibly divisive, which I will back you on that. Their cigar malt is really good. And I was playing around, just messing with one of the reps, and he gave me like a 12-year-old shot of Dalmore, and I had a glass of Coke, and I dumped it in the Coke, and it ruined my Coke.
Oh, no.
Really, most of the time when you put something in Coke, it works. But no, it's like, I just did it to aggravate him, and I took a chug of my Coke. I'm like, my Coke is ruined.
Yeah, man. You know, it's funny. I've been putting, I even hate to admit this, every now and then putting ice into my bourbon. And I would never do that before. And every now and then I'm doing it just to try it. And my wife's like, she was teasing me the other day. She's like, you're not drinking that straight. What's wrong with you? I'm getting joshed by my wife on how I drink my bourbon. I'm like, oh, okay.
Which I'm really proud of my wife. I made a particular cocktail for my wife. Very, very heavy on the bourbon. Most of the time, she takes a sip and she's like, oh, God, no. And I gave it to her, and she, oh, this is actually really good. And I just patted her. I'm like, I'm so proud of you. My plan was I started making heavier amounts of bourbon with more sugar, and I started taking away the sugar. And finally it worked to where I can now get her to drink some of the cocktails that I'm doing. I trained her palate. It took a long time, but I did it. I was like, I'm so proud of you, honey. Okay, I'm going to catch up on the chat here. If you drink Dalmore, you need to drink the Patterson tells you to, or it won't be as good. Dustin then says, Dalmore isn't divisive. They produce great whiskey and sell it at a total crap form. Let's see here. Dustin also says ice is for bourbon. He also says, I am now old enough to where I'll put ice in Pappy.
Oh, man.
Okay. Park Bear says, I have not tried the new Dalmore cigar malt. How does it compare to the old version? Unfortunately, I've not tried the new version either. I wish I had. I keep on hoping my reps will give me something so I can try it, but they have not. Oh, boy. I try and think of it. There was another one.
Hey, ice flakes are pretty cool. You really can do some neat, good stuff with that.
That was it. I knew there was something I needed to talk about. Don't drop ice cubes in there. Okay. Mind if I use ice flakes, though? Okay. Going back to cigar malt. It was a while back. We took our cigar guys from our humidor to pick out a private barrel of 1792, and we did it as a cigar malt. They went there and they went through the barrels until they found a barrel that was a perfect example of one that should be paired with cigars. That's pretty much what I did, Vanessa Kitty. I sprinkled her drinks with sugar till she was able to take them without. I would slowly cut the sugar back until she's now able to take them. However, there are certain ones that I still have to put an ice cube in it and let it melt. Like my martini here would have a big ice cube in it for her.
You know what I did with my wife? She's similar. She really couldn't take whiskey so much. And then one day I brought out good old Jamie here. And I don't know what it is, just because it's so smooth and traditional Jamie. She digs it. And it's funny, I'll make mixed drinks now, and she'll drink it because, you know, I mean, it's good Irish whiskey. It's just not always my cup of tea, but not bad.
Yeah. I find a lot of the Irish whiskey drinkers are They are probably one of the most dedicated groups.
They really are. They absolutely.
It's really quite unique to see that, and it's just like, you know, I had this one particular guy, and he was just telling me about this whiskey, and he was just, and you know, and he was this old school, looked like the old school Kentuckian guy who drives a forklift for a living. And we were just talking, and he just started, all of a sudden, he just started out of nowhere. He just blew my mind. He's just like, you know, he's like, yeah, I drink Jameson. I'm like, okay, well, let me show you this one. And all of a sudden, he's just like, is it as good as this one? And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, that is close. And he's like, what about this one? And, you know, and he just started naming, like, what about Patty's? And he was just like, well, how would you compare it with the Patty's flavor profile as to this one? And then he's like,
Yeah.
Is it as good as the Redbreast 12? And he's just like, okay, guy, you've just totally earned my respect here.
Totally. Well,
Okay, now Vanessa Kitty just throws in, Jameson is always tasty and full of memories for me. Yes, Jameson is very full of memories for me as well.
Absolutely.
And a lot of forgotten memories.
I was in a store which shall not be named, a big chain, and somebody was like, they were asking about what's the difference between Jameson and Johnny Walker. And I swear it looked like there was about to be a fight.
Oh, no.
And I was like, you don't know what you're asking.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Well, let's see here. Tell you what should we be discussing for next week, Gat? Well, next week we're going to be doing, next week is MGP. For those of you who do not know, I am going to be having Robin Carnes, former brand ambassador, now manager sales executive of MGP. For those of you who do not know, MGP has released the 8 and Sands. They are doing the George Remus. They are also doing Rossville Rye, which is vastly becoming one of my favorite ryes on the market. She will be on the panel talking with us. She will be answering questions. So now is your chance if you have any interesting questions you have about the world-famous MGP juice, which always wins the awards.
Mm-hmm.
Start thinking now because she's going to be in next week. Rockgut says, I think everyone has some memories they'd like to forget associated with Jameson. Yes. Castmates pinches way above its weight. Very, very true.
Totally agree.
Okay, now, Dustin is, I'm sorry, go ahead, Tony.
I'm a huge fan of IPA or Castmates. Either one of those, I would take that any day.
Without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
That was just so unexpectedly citrus.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What are some good MGPs? Let's see here. Oh, boy. Whistle Pig has been labeled as some of the MGP, but the thing to do to check to see if it is actually Whistle Pig, whether or not I'm going to use my Sazerac bottle.
Mm-hmm.
This is not Whistle Pig juice. Whistle Pig will say on the back of the bottle, imported from Canada.
Oh, Canada, that's right.
If it does not say imported from Canada, that is MGP juice.
Mm-hmm.
Vanessa also says she loves Rise. Rise was the first drink we had when I was young growing up. My older brother got it. Rye was something in which I truly fell in love with on it as well. So let me see. What are some other MGP juice? OKI, which is now dead. Oh, wait. 1833.
Wasn't Bullet for a while?
Bullet for a while was, but I don't believe it is anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, and also he was I'm getting asked to respond to a comment earlier. Let's see here. J.O., is Boone County and Magnus a topic we can get into? Boone County, yes. That one is still MGP juice. The Magnus, I am not fully familiar with. I have tasted their product. I do believe they are making some of them, if not they're barrel finishing. Am I correct on that?
Oh, no.
I'm not correct on that one? Okay. I have a review with Whiskey is My Yoga. who wants to be on one of these panels one day, she would be able to answer that. I'm going to have to reach out to her on that one. I'm sorry, guys. I cannot fully answer that. But
Well,
Bullet Rye is still MGP. Yes, I heard that. And Vanessa Kitty says rye with a slice of orange. Okay, Dustin saying MGP Magnus is MGP juice. Okay, I thought it was. I didn't want to fully answer that. They are doing barrel finishing. They also have a phenomenal cigar malt.
well, and those folks we mentioned earlier from Austin, their juice is MGP for sure.
Okay, now we also got Ricardo Head saying Bullet is Four Roses. Karen Diageo. That was that is where, let's see, they're not doing the rye anymore. That's their basic. It used to be really, really tin driven to me. You got this really thick metallic corn flavor on it. The bourbon might be. Okay. Sounds like we hit on some interesting topic right there. A lot of discussion on that one. We've still got 8 in the chat. We got 15 likes. So all of you out there who have not hit that like button, please do. And Rockgut says, Crowded Barrel. Those are the Austin folk. There you go. I don't know that one. You got me. Okay, so let's plan. We got next week is MGP, which just opened it up. Robin Carnes will be able to answer most of these questions. So she'll be able to come in. Now, I am going to warn you. She is adorable, but don't fall in love too much. Her husband is a local MMA fighter.
I've seen some of the videos you've had with her.
She is wonderful. She is a mom. They have a 2-year-old kid. Just a fun, bubbling, energetic person who loves bourbon. Okay, the Austin folks are the whiskey somms, or quote-unquote con artist, according to Dustin. Yeah, Marty wasted no time giving his opinion about those guys.
Yeah. It's tough for me because I really respect them, and I am a salesperson at heart, so I can respect the sales game.
Yeah.
Let's just say my company wouldn't pay for me to go to their class.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't pay $4,000.
Yeah.
And, you know, but here's the other question. They have 150,000 subscribers.
And they're very funny. I really
They
think
are. Well, that's their thing, is they're
tough.
teaching you how to entertain.
Yes, absolutely.
And, you know, they're doing some really stylistic shots. You know, they're doing a great set. You know, obviously they're doing something right to get that. Now, I also have been told that they are buying subscribers, and that's how they got so big so quickly. They also have bots, in which Mash and Drum was telling me he got invaded by bots from them. And it wasn't great video, man. Have you thought of checking out mine? No, it was like, check out our channel, link.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he has very, very little respect from them. If you want to, he kind of filled my ear very quickly. I love Mash and Drum. So
Definitely.
Putty Pie classes might be better. Beauty. All right. So what would you guys like to talk about in 2 weeks? Let's get that going up in the chats. Tony, what you think, man?
Oh man, there's so many good things. You brought up Irish. I mean, Irish is always is one of those areas that I really haven't dabbled in too much. You know, I stick to my scotches. I stick to my safe lanes. But I mean, yeah, that could be one.
Which one? I'm sorry, I kind of.
I was gonna say maybe Irish. You know, but
Irish. Okay.
I
got a couple of Irish.
You know, I stick to my safe lane. I'm usually bourbon or scotch.
Okay. So I want to read this real quick comment from Dustin. He says, as someone who's spent thousands of dollars on a professional certifications, I find what they're doing cheapens the work I've done, even if it is in a different field. Something I said last time, scotches that you have at the party source but isn't moving. Okay, so Dustin would like me to talk about scotches that are at the source but not selling. Okay, I think I can do that. Tony, if you're interested in that, we can discuss that, and we can discuss Irish whiskeys. If you want to think about some of your favorite scotches that you find that you can pick up, blow the dust off, and people can come home with.
Definitely.
Rockgut says, I feel like a single pot still is a good jumping off point in Irish if you like scotch. I love pot stills.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody seems to be doing column these days, but I love pot still.
Old school.
All right, and with that, guys, we are going to go ahead and we are going to sign off. We have gone for 95 minutes. Did a blast. It has been so much fun with all of you. So tune in next week at 8:45 when we talk Whiskey Wednesday. You will see a lovely photo of Robin Carnes in front of all the MGP juice on the shelf before we go live as our thumbnail. So the topic is Irish. Why 40%? Well, we're going to do Irish and Scotch whiskeys that are not selling, that we feel like deserve love. And that is in 2 weeks, but next week, MGP. All you folk rock, thank you so much. And hopefully next week when I'm talking with you on the 13th, I'm going to be at 1,000 subscribers.
That's right. That's right. Push it up.
And while you're at it, if you have not, swing by and check out Tony's channel, Bearded Beer Man. It has been fun. You all have a great night. Cheers.